What's going on, people? So, this video that you're about to see, these shoes you're about to see, all that stuff, some of you have seen this already because I did that live unboxing sometime last week, I think it was. So, but if you're going to watch this also, I do appreciate that. But anyways, here's this, right? Top of the box and all that good stuff. Side of the box down there as well for those that care what the side of the box says. So obviously if you caught the top and all that stuff, you recognize this as being one of those move to zero recycled shoe type things that Nike's been doing lately. They're trying to reduce their carbon footprint or whatever, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because they're still producing like a whole mess of other shoes. It's like if you're gonna make like one every month or something that has this recycled crater type nonsense going on, but you're gonna make like a million Jordans and foams and whatever else, it's like, are you really making a difference? I don't know. I have my doubts, honestly. But whatever. I'm gonna end that rant there. If you care to finish that or fill in some thoughts of your own, that's what the comment section is for. So let's go ahead and look at these, right? Now I looked at these overall when I first opened them. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, so I opened these up, looked at them earlier, when I did the whole unboxing thing, and honestly haven't really looked at them since. I tried them on, or at least one of them on, to remind myself of how these things feel a little while ago. Black and electric green, got it. So now I at least can talk about that whenever that part of the video rolls around. But for now, it is review time on this right here, the Air Max Plus in black and electric green. Pretty sure that's what I just read off there. And like I said, it's one of those recycled type shoes. As according to this, it's made with at least 20% recycled content. Could be 21, could be 100, who knows. But doesn't matter, we're just gonna start talking about these with the bottom, of course. So down there, what you're gonna be seeing is just that standard crater type outsole that they've been putting on a few things. If you caught my React Presto Flyknit video, you saw these on there. And a lot of those other crater type Jordans and things like that. So it doesn't affect the shoe as far as how it feels, but it does look kind of cool. And then you've also got a bit of that electric green sprinkled in there with some kind of marble-ish looking sort of thing in the middle. So it's kind of a nice outsole in my opinion. But enough about that. We're going to move on up to this here midsole. So down here, this is pretty much the sail kind of color it seems to be to me. If you have a better idea of what color that is, don't hesitate to let me know. This is the internet after all. People like to point out when people are wrong. Anyways, moving on into these little air bubbles. So one of the things that I had saw when I first opened these up, what I was saying I didn't notice before, was that on the medial side in the back here, you don't have that standard green from the outside. Instead, you have this yellow and this red. So that's kind of cool. Everything else, all the other bubbles, just have the standard green on the inside. So there's that for you. And now we're going to go ahead and move on up to this upper so we can get this thing knocked out. So up here, right, you don't have the standard plastic style lines. These are just kind of stitching. Yes, a bit of a stitching thing going on here. It's pretty decent. Feels fairly soft if you rub your fingers like with it. You know what I'm saying? Not against. But as far as the rest of it though, that's where it's a little weird in some ways, because it is that recycled yarn type of thing, and that's a little odd in itself. It kind of makes me think of the VaporMax 20s or whatever, but either way, it's not a bad feel, it's just a little bit different, right? So one thing that I would compare those to, it has kind of a, when you wear them, and I'll cover this again when I talk about this on foot part, but when you wear them, it kind of feels a little bit like these right here, which is the frequency packs. So because they have that soft touch to them to an extent, like when you're wearing them, but also on the outside, because they're not quite super soft to the touch, in some ways they remind me of these, where these are kind of like, it's soft, but there's a little bit of rigidness to it. So it's a weird balance. Super comfortable, these things. But anyways, so these kind of remind me of like a mix of those two shoes. But anyways, looking around at this, it's basically just your black and white style coloring that they did with this, so I think it's a good touch as far as the green and the contrast there. Gives a nice little pop. But that is what it is. Your opinion may vary. Then of course around the front you've got that typical plastic piece for your around the toe area, whatever you want to call that. And then down here you've got a little bit of this white stitching over some kind of a fake leather, and then back here you've got that same fake leather feel, but with the lime green, electric green, voltage green, whatever kind of green they wanted to call this, on the back. And that pretty much is that. Now, as far as these laces go, it's nothing you haven't seen before, right? So you just got standard plain black laces held down with some little gray pieces. And then at the very top, you've got that Air logo with the Nike swoosh above it on the tip of the tongue there. And then moving on to the inside, not much going on in there either. Just a green insole with a Nike swoosh. So there we go. We've knocked out the upper of this shoe pretty much. Anything that I didn't mention you probably saw because there's pictures in my videos, right? It helps. It helps me to cover myself in case I forget to say something. But anyways, now we're done with that. So I guess we can talk about the on-feet part, the sizing and comfort, all that stuff, right? Okay, so what to say. These, first off, we'll start with the sizing. 9.5. That's my size in pretty much everything. That's what I bought these in. And you know what? They fit exactly like I would have expected them to fit, which is basically like any other Air Max. To sum that up in 3 simple words, true to size. Got that? Cool. Now, as far as the comfort goes, right? The outsole here, midsole, whatever, nothing different. It's pretty much just your standard Air Max Plus comfort, right? Which is nothing amazing, it's nothing bad, it's like somewhere in the middle. It's comfortable. If you need something that you can wear for an extended period of time, you're gonna be good with these. The difference here versus certain Air Max Pluses would be the upper. But the thing is with that, I have a good number of Air Max Pluses and the uppers are mostly all different. So I can't say these will feel like every Air Max Plus that you have because yours may be made of different materials. But just know that these, they do feel a little stiffish out of the box. That may go away over time. It could just be the materials. But I still don't have any complaints about wearing them. They seem just fine as far as that whole thing goes. So I'm going to say that if you pick up a pair of these and you're wondering like if you're going to like them, past like, the visual of course, if you're going to like wearing them, I think you will. That's going to be my take on that. So do with that information what you will, and hope it works out for you. But that's pretty much enough out of me as far as talking about this shoe goes, because I got a couple other shoes and lots of wrestling things to talk about. So I'm going to go and do that now. So from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest your night, whatever it is, wherever you are, and maybe we'll cross paths at some other point in the future. Who knows? Later, people.